Welcome back to the Cousin FX YouTube channel. I am Cousin FX, and thank you for tuning in. So today we'll be talking about Euro USD, right? Um, yeah, we'll be analyzing it and checking any potential moves that are happening in the market currently. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So as we know, we always start on the monthly time frame. So we always start to look for our buyers, right? And meaning direction. So if ever we want to see the direction, we start on the monthly, go to the weekly, and then we go to the daily. So these three time frames here are for buyers or direction, right? Okay, cool. So what can we see here on the monthly time frame? As I've marked it out already, this support level here. See, because every time price got here, there was a rejection to the upside. So this indicates to us that this is a support level, right? All these rejections to the upside right here. This this here is what we call manipulation, right? Because uh, what is defined as manipulation is when price gets to a specific zone, breaks through it, and closes back inside or above. So that indicates to us that the price just gave us a fake out, only to close back above the zone to continue its desired direction, right? So yeah, that's what we can identify on the monthly time frame. So with that being said, let's drop down to the weekly time frame. Just remove that. Mhm. So we know that on a monthly, we are rejecting the support level right here, right? So let me get rid of the zone so that it's clear. So what can we see right now? What we can see is that price is currently in an uptrend, and what defines an uptrend is a series of, higher highs and higher lows. So higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, so on and so forth. This defines an uptrend. Yeah. Sorry about that, but let's move on. So as I said, high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, high highs, and high lows, right? When price now fails to, actually, let me just draw this again. When price now fails to keep going higher and does something like this, it tests this low instead of testing this high to go further. It breaks it, comes to retest it, and now gives us a new lower low and a lower high, lower low and a lower high, so on and so forth. Now that indicates the end of this downtrend. And then this consolidation pattern here gave us that and gave us a break. So we identify that we can identify that price is going from an uptrend into a downtrend, right? So yeah, let's go on and identify key support and resistance levels in order to help us get an idea, a better understanding of what's going on, right? So here's the high high, here's the high low, here's the high high, here's the high low, high high. So in order for this high high to keep going, it needs to test this one here, this zone here, the previous high. It needs to keep going up. So that's the current support structure. This is the current resistance structure, right? So we can see that okay, Euro USD is currently inside this zone here, in between these two resistance and support levels, right? So we are expecting to see what price does at this level here, since it's already there. And how we will know what it does is that we wait for it to show us, right? With that being said, let's go down to the daily time frame. Daily will show us in clearer detail, what's going on in the market. Yeah, I identify here another structure level that was important, right? Since I know that this is resistance, I can remove this zone because it gave me what I wanted. It gave me a rejection to the downside. So we are no longer up there, right? Cool. So now we're currently at this level of support. And what can we notice? What can we notice? So on this time frame, we can see that price is clearly in a downtrend. It's clearly in a downtrend because it broke this level of structure here. So price was moving upwards clearly, came to support this zone again, failed to go higher. It failed here and then broke a level below, meaning that, okay, on this break, on this retest, we are looking to get an entry to the downside. Yeah, if price keeps moving in our desired direction, right? So the market moves in impulses and corrections, right? So the price moved in this impulse. So we are waiting for this correction in order to get an entry to come back down here, either to break this zone or to target the zone overall, to target our zone here. Yeah. So I'm gonna give you guys information on how to catch a correction. So as I said, we moved here from here in an impulse, breaking this zone. So if we want to catch the correction, we use a tool called Fibonacci. Let me remove this zone for now, since yeah, I want to focus on this zone here. So in order to catch a correction, let me use this example here. So here's the impulse. Wait. Let me draw it out properly. Here's the impulse, and then there was a correction, and then there was the impulse, right? So let me show you a tool I use to catch that. So now, here's the impulse, right? So from the high, I measure the high, I measure the low of the impulse, where the impulse started and where it ended. Right? It ended here. So it shows us these zones here, 38%, 50%, and 61%. These are entry zones, right? You can draw it out with a rectangle to make things clearer for yourself. So ideally, we want price to, after it created this impulse, correct it back in here, gave us an entry at 50, 60, or at 38 and 50. Or it can even go as far as 61 to give us that impulse, of which it gave us right here. So that is a tool called Fibonacci. It's free. It's free to use here on TradingView, even on MetaTrader. So yeah, let's move on. So now we see that, okay, price impulse down here. So then let me take out my Fibonacci. I'm going to take it from Fibonacci from the low to the high, right? And then I mark out these levels with this rectangle. So what I am waiting for right now on Euro USD is a correction to this level here, and then a continuation to the downside. So let me mention something else about my Fibonacci tool. See, these levels here, the red levels, they are point of rejections, like strong points of rejections, right? So if ever price had to get here, like we enter here, and price gets here, that's my TP, right? Minus 27.20% is TP, and then 61, the red one here, this level is for entries. Like it's the maximum retest, maximum correction. It's the furthest the price can retest in order to give you, a proper rejection and impulse. So yeah, um, if Euro USD had to continue giving me a correction and once it gets to this zone 38, the first line, that's where I'll be looking to get my entries for this move to the downside. So my bias on Euro USD, my bad, is sells, in my opinion. So yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. I won't go on the lower time frames today because this is a quite simple move, quite simple, you know, price action. So yeah, but guys, if ever we're always waiting, we're always patient here in the market. So we waited for this break and it happened. So what can only happen is this. If price decides to do its own thing and go above here, yeah, that would be stop loss. And then bias changes to bias because it will be above this zone and then give us a correction and give us another impulse to the upside. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. It's your boy Kaizen FX. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and yeah, just comment on what pairs or instruments you want me to trade or talk about. And if you need any information on forex, any tutorials, just comment down in the comment section below, and then yeah, we'll get to it. It's been your boy signing out.